What is going on, everybody? Once again, it is me, Jamoka from South Nerdy, and welcome to the show. This is the show in which I cover news, highlights, and events from the past week in the world of tech. Again, I go live every Saturday to cover the news from the past week to give you the lowdown on what transpired throughout the past week. And my goal of this show in general is to not only that, but when I cover tech news, is to give you all of the news without any fluff, without any filter. I just give you the facts. I don't fictionalize. I don't sensationalize anything. I just give it to you raw and let you make up your ideas. I try to bring you a couple of stories, a couple of different articles, if give you a more complete picture about the story that we are talking about at the moment. So this week is no different. We got a few stories I want to go over. Once again, thank you for taking time out to watch this video on a Saturday afternoon. You could be doing anything else, so I appreciate your time. Um, if you're not subscribed to this channel and you enjoy getting tech news delivered straight to you, make sure you do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you have friends or family that enjoy this type of content, please make sure you share this with them as well, as I'm sure they will enjoy this. So, without any further ado, let's just cover some of the stuff we're going to be covering today. Let's go over here, start here. Will Xiaomi 14 undercut the Galaxy S24 in Europe? Leak prices suggest a close fight. So, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is expected to be launched on February 25th. Mobile World Congress is coming up in a few weeks, in a couple of weeks, actually, next week, actually. And they're expected to show this off there. So we have some pricing leak. We also have some renders of what the device looks like. So we'll get into that. Samsung is next update for Galaxy S24 promises to improve camera display. So we know over the past couple of weeks, Samsung has some issues with the device, and we are expecting to get some of those issues resolved with some updates that are coming down the pipeline. So I'm looking forward to go over that. Google Gemini 1.5 Pro, newest AI model with major upgrades from its predecessor. So again, Google is going ham in the AI space. They've already updated Gemini to 1.5. Just in December, they introduced, actually this last week, they rebranded it from Google Bard to Gemini. In December, they launched Gemini. So they're already on their 1.5 version just a couple of months later. Also going to talk about Apple's AI strategy. So we know that Apple has been pretty quiet when it comes to the AI space, but they are going big. Just because they've been quiet does not mean that they have not been doing anything about it. So I'm going to talk about what they've been doing behind the scenes, as well as what the hardware is going to be needed to power some of this AI. Also, we'll take a look at the MSI Claw. Specifically, they use the Meteor Lake Intel chips to power their handheld, the MSI Claw. But so far in the early review that we have here, it has not performed well when compared to AMD's APUs. So we'll go over that. And finally, Lenovo's transparent laptop concept resurfaces in new league. So this is a transparent display from Lenovo. Looks cool. We'll get into the practicalities of that, and we'll just talk about it, see if it's even practical for most people. But once again, that is everything that I wanted to go over. So let's just jump right to the top story right here. Xiaomi undercut Galaxy S24 in Europe. Leak price suggests a close fight. So this is an article out of phonearena.com. A French website, D Labs or D Labs, whatever, has shared what appears to be European pricing for the upcoming Xiaomi 14 series. According to the leak, Xiaomi 14 Pro is expected to remain exclusive to China, aligned with previous rumors that the Xiaomi 14 Ultra will have a global release instead. So, looks like the 14 Ultra is going to be wide release. But I don't know if that's going to come to the United States, but we do know again that it is going to be coming to Europe, but we'll see if it's going to be coming to the United States. Xiaomi 14 is rumored to launch in a single configuration featuring 12 gigabytes of RAM, 12 gigabytes of storage. It will be offered in three colors: green, black, and white, with a price tag of 1,099 euros, which is approximate to about $1,176 in US dollars. The Ultra is expected to come with a single configuration as well, offering 16 gigabytes of RAM, 12 gigabytes storage, and that will come in at a price of around 1,499 euros and about 1,600 US dollars. We also know that the silver variant could be exclusive to China, where the phone hasn't been introduced yet. So there are speculations that the Xiaomi 14 Ultra may introduce a titanium variant alongside the standard aluminum frame. So it looks like a lot of people are jumping on the titanium bandwagon, as Apple did it with their 15, and then Samsung did it with their Ultra device with the S24 Ultra. Now it looks like Xiaomi 14 Ultra will follow the same path and have a titanium variant as well. As we know, titanium offers a bit more tougher protection for the device, with also being a little bit lighter as well. So it's just a trade off, not necessarily trade off. It's just a better overall material when it comes to protecting your phone a little bit more and still giving it that durability that it needs, as well as making it a little bit lighter. With these top-notch specs and competitive prices, the Xiaomi 14 series could become a strong competitor to the Galaxy S24 series. For reference, the 512GB S24 Plus is priced at €1,270, which is about $1,360 in Europe, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra, offering 12GB of RAM and 512GB of storage, comes in at an asking price of around €1,569, about $1,690 USD. This positions the Xiaomi 14 series as a slightly more affordable option to consumer. So it looks like Xiaomi is going to be coming. We'll see if their lower price point will have any impact on how their sales will be, especially when it comes to in Europe and maybe over in China as well. So Xiaomi is coming for the crown. We're trying to dethrone Galaxy S24. Let's take a look at what the device is rumored to look like. So we got some early specs, some early pictures right here. This is out of My Smart Price. So these are some leaked rumors. You can see the back there. That's going to be their camera array with the circular bezel there. Let's talk about what some of this is. Xiaomi is set to introduce the flagship Xiaomi 14 Pro series to global audience at the Mobile World Congress event in Barcelona. That's how you actually pronounce it, Barcelona. And this month, while we already saw the Xiaomi 14 Pro variant in their Chinese launch last year, new leaks reveals that the Ultra flagship could look like. The first high-quality renders of the Ultra have surfaced online through My Smart Price, featuring black and white silver colorways. Aside from the minor bump seen around the camera module, the device looks familiar to the predecessor model. The 13 Ultra had a minor bump on the rear panel. Instead, the successor seems to incorporate around the camera visor per the latest renders. As you can see here, I love how they hit the texture, what it looks like, a little bit bumpy. I like that. It can give you a better grip around the phone. So I'm actually loving that. It looks like it's leatherette or something. The renders also showcase the power and volume buttons placed on the right panel of the device. The former had a texture finish to differentiate between the two pairs of buttons. The upcoming flagship could feature a 6.7-inch AMOLED screen with 120Hz display, IP68 rating, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, obviously going to be Android 14 with their HyperOS, quad cameras featuring 4 50-megapixel cameras, 4 megapixel sensors, and for selfies, the device could rely on a 32-megapixel selfie shooter with a 5300 milliamp battery that could power the device with a 90-watt wired charging support. So some beefy specs right there. Again, it definitely competes with the Galaxy Ultra on the spec. In the spec arena, you can see here the camera buck, huge camera right here. Looks pretty cool, very unique. That's that Xiaomi design with the Leica camera lens here. The Xiaomi 14 could easily compete against the Galaxy S24 Ultra and the OnePlus twice. It was again slated for a global release in February 25th. Another leak from D Labs has also revealed the possible European pricing. We already talked about that. So it looks like Xiaomi is coming after Samsung. So what do you guys think? Does Xiaomi have a chance to dethrone Samsung in this arena? I personally, I don't think so. Samsung has a pretty good track record. They have that brand recognition. They've been doing it for a long time. People, when they want a very capable, very sturdy, nice Android device, you tend to go to Samsung. But in China, they probably will gear towards this. But with that lower price point and with the specs to match, definitely is something that could give Samsung a run for their money. So we will see. Again, I don't think they're going to topple them, but it will be interesting to see what type of market that they will, what market share could they pick up with the 14 when it definitely does come out. So next week, probably about 8 days from now, a couple of weeks, we will get to see this in all of its glory at Mobile World Congress. So definitely looking forward to that. So just stay tuned for that. Definitely we'll be talking about that more and more. We'll be definitely on the website here when that device is unveiled in all of its glory. So let's move over to speaking of Samsung. So set the stage for you real quick. Samsung, the Galaxy S series release. Prior to release, pre-orders were off the chart, especially in North Korea, India, and I think the Netherlands had off the chart numbers for pre-orders for the Galaxy S24 series. Blew numbers away. So Samsung was outrunning reviews and everything were on point. Everything is, as we know, was the S24 series is probably is the best Android phone out there on the market. Now, some may disagree, but I think this goes without being said that if you want a capable Android device, you're gonna look to the Samsung series. They mostly hit on everything. The one issue that a lot of people have with them is their software, the lag or whatever. But that's another day. So then after it came out, it was out for a couple of weeks. The device was having a number of issues that plagued up. And I did a video about that, about a week or so ago, going over all of the issues that were happening with the device, some of the issues that could be solved with just a software patch, some that were more hardware related. That video, it said I did that about a week ago, so you want to go check that out. You can go check that out. And now we have some updates that are coming that can fix some of these issues. So Samsung's next update for the Galaxy S24 promises to improve the camera and display. So one of the issues were the cameras was, malfunctioning, was faulty. People were have zooming in issues. It would do this little jumpy thing. Some of the images were blurry, whatever. So hopefully this will fix the issue. And in terms of the display, a lot of people were complaining about the vivid mode was not as bright or as vivid as previous devices. And Samsung came out and said that this is not a bug. They wanted to kind of mute some of the colors and give you more realistic experience. If you've used Samsung phones in the past or Samsung devices in the past, you know that their colors really pop. It's almost artificial colors to the point that it just really blasts the screen. So Samsung, I guess this year decided to mute that. Not sure why they made that decision. And a lot of people who have become accustomed to having that did not like it. They let it be known. They said this vivid mode is not working. So Samsung is going to fix that and give you an option to change your vividness right here. The Samsung Galaxy S24 series has been out for a few weeks now, and surprisingly, the phones have not received any updates yet. Samsung does not usually announce updates outside of its major One UI updates, so this announcement strays away from the tradition. According to Samsung's announcement, the next update to the Galaxy S24 series will come with a vividness slider under this. It tells you where it's at. So you can see here. Let me blow that up for you. So you can see here. So you're going to have a couple of different sliders that you can change. You can change your RGB settings, then the vividness mode overall, so you can be able to adjust to see how vivid you want the colors and the display to pop. So I think I like this option better than what they had in the past. So it gives you the option of what you want. Because everybody's eyes are different. Everybody has different taste, different flavor. So this is going to be better I think this is a better option for Samsung in the long run, giving you more control over what your device actually looks like to you. So the Galaxy S24 series will ship with a display tuned for a more natural color experience, but some users find it dull, especially when compared to previous Samsung flagships. Further, the update will bring several camera improvements, including upgrades to the device's zoom functions, portrait mode, nightography, rear camera video shooting capabilities, and more. Specific changes are not mentioned in the announcement, but there have been a few complaints from users about the Galaxy S24's cameras, with issues like shutter lag, motion blur, and image shifting being quite common. Yeah, so again, a lot of these issues were brought out a week or so ago. It looks like Samsung hopefully will fix most of these issues. Again, vividness display, having this option in your advanced settings, I think is the best route to go, giving you control over exactly what you want So looking forward to that once that hits out for the users out there, so they can get their colors, their screen to pop the way that they want them to. So this is a good move by Samsung. I'm glad that they are doing this. So look forward to that. Continuing with Samsung, even though they had a lot of issues with this phone when it first came out, their sales were still off the charts. And initially they were expected to ship about 12 million units, but Samsung actually bumped that up because of their initial sales. So they're looking to ship 13 million units of the Galaxy S24 series in the next year. So sales are off the charts. Again, it doesn't look like these issues are preventing users from going out and getting the phones, because I think they have belief that Samsung will fix these issues. And speaking of continuing with success with Samsung, Galaxy S24 series has the best mobile displays, DXOMark reveals. So if you're not familiar with DXOMark, they usually rate smartphones in a number of different categories: cameras, displays, and whatever. So to achieve high marks on DxO is definitely an accomplishment that most manufacturers are looking forward to. So let's go over here real quick. So this is an article out of Sam Mobile. The Galaxy S24 series has the best smartphone displays in the industry, according to the independent reviewer DxOMark. The three new flagships from Samsung beats phones like the Galaxy Z Fold 5, Z Flip 5, iPhone 15s, iPhone 15s, I'm sorry, Google Pixel Fold, OnePlus Open, Honor Magic 5 Pro, and the list goes on. So basically, it's the best display on the market. Now, if you use the Samsung phone, you know their displays are the best. And ever since I started using their phones years and years ago, I don't find any displays that really come close to touching Samsung. And these numbers back them up. More precisely, the Galaxy S24 Ultra leads DxOMark's global and ultra premium rankings in display quality. The Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus tie for second place in global rankings. So as you can see here, this is the Galaxy S24 Ultra. On their display here, they got a score 155. Have gold rating, first in global ranking, first in ultra premium ranking. And it goes here to just break down what it talks about: reliability, color, video, motion, touch, artifacts. So off the charts, number one, can't beat it. The base S24 model has the highest ranked display in the premium ranking category, which includes phones that cost $600 to $800. This category excludes the Galaxy S24, which is why the Plus variant is only second to the Galaxy S24 Ultra in the ultra premium segment. So it looks like in the ultra premium segment, these are phones that cost $800 or more. Number one is the Ultra, and number two is the Plus. So Samsung takes the top two marks in that category. You can see here, they're 154, second place and first place. So again, their phones are off the charts. Their displays, are unmatched. The best mobile panels in the game. Samsung increased the resolution of the Galaxy S24 model to a Quad HD Plus, and all three variants can reach a whopping 2600 nits of brightness. So again, yeah, their phones, their brightness, the display with the Gorilla Glass on the Ultra makes the displays the top in the game right now. Anybody looking to get on board with the Android phone, you obviously want to check out the Samsung Galaxy S24 models, as they are the best according to these numbers right here. Can't beat them. Even beats the iPhones out there, but iPhones still sell like crazy. Not saying the iPhone displays are terrible. I'm just saying here, their displays are definitely worthwhile. So if you want to get those devices, definitely jump on board and get those devices. So again, despite all the issues or problems that Samsung had up front, they are fixing those issues. Sales are off the charts. They're receiving high remarks. The reviews are off the charts. Mostly positive. Definitely overall mostly positive. So again, S24 series is doing well. And when I talked about my video, again, I pointed out the issues. The goal of the video was just to let users know that there were issues with these phones in the beginning. And you as a consumer, if you're going out and spending $8, $9, $13, $1,400 on a device, you should know what is going on with that device. You should know if there's issues out there. You should know what these issues are. And then you can make that assessment if this is something that you are looking to overlook and have belief that Samsung is going to fix these issues. So my video was not meant to demean Samsung or any way, but I think I want people to understand the full picture when it comes to tech. It comes to these devices. You need to know the good and you need to know the bad as well. Now, I'm a Samsung fanboy. I've been rocking with Samsung since the beginning. I think I had the S5, 6, 7, no, the S5, 6, or 7. I had the Notes, and I had they had the Z Fold 3, 4, and 5. So I've been rocking with Samsung tablets, TVs as well. So, but if they're having issues or problems or things that they need to correct, they need to, they need to be made aware of that so they can continue to get better. Because as somebody who rocks with these devices, you want them to be performing at their best, to be capable of, achieving maximum. And you need to let Samsung know that, if there's issues out there, here is what's going on. I'm not somebody that's just going to, sweep everything under the rug. I'm going to tell it like it is. So again, so Samsung, and not only Samsung, but any manufacturer out there can know what the issues are. So if you don't like hearing that type of stuff, then I don't know what to tell you. But you should want, as a fanboy, some of you out there, they came out in droves and just let me know that they did not like that me talking about this. But you should want your fandom, your company that you like, to be better. So these issues should need to be brought up, and they need to be brought to attention, need to be brought to the foreground so they can know what is going on. But that's enough about that. Let's move on to Google. So Gemini 1.5 Pro is out, the newest AI model with major upgrades from its predecessor. So we all remember when Google first unleashed Bard back at, I think it was their developer conference last year. It failed because it got something wrong with the initial query. It got something wrong on stage. Everybody pointed it out and blasted it. So that was a big mark against Google at the time. But they, they worked hard, it worked behind the scenes, and they've improved it. They eventually launched Google Bard. It has its pluses and its minuses. I've used it in the past. It does some things great. And, they've continued to improve upon that. And then they launched their Gemini model, which they renamed Bard 2, and it made a lot of improvements and a lot of gains in that area, and they're closing the ground definitely when it comes to the AI space on ChatGPT. So they've made Gemini down there up to 1.5, and let's talk about what some of the changes are and what's coming. Just last week, Google had some major news rebranding Google Bard to Gemini while unveiling Gemini app known as Gemini Advanced and revealing a new premium AI plan. On Thursday, Google unveiled its next generation model, Gemini 1.5. Even though Gemini 1.0 just launched in December, the new model boasts massive upgrades from its predecessor, including a longer text context window, better understanding, and an overall enhanced performance. This model is so advanced that Google CEO said that 1.5 Pro, the first Gemini 1.5 model that Google is releasing in early testing, achieves comparable equality to 1.0 Ultra, the company's most advanced large language model, which was announced last week, while using less compute. So you get more while using less compute power. So obviously that is an achievement. Longer context window shows us the promise of what is possible. They will enable entirely new capabilities and help developers build much more useful models and applications. To achieve this enhanced performance, Gemini 1.5 has been built on the new version of Mixture of Experts architecture, which allows the model to learn and selectively activate the model relevant pathways in its neural network, increasing efficiency. So improvements across the board, it looks like, that Google is made with Gemini 1.5. Gemini 1.5 Pro can run up to 1 million tokens in production, a massive increase from the original 32,000 tokens. Why am I saying tokens for Gemini 1.0. The more tokens that model can take in, the more likely its responses are better and more informed. So that massive jump from 32,000 to 1 million should yield great examples and great AI, capabilities from Gemini. So that is a massive improvement. So Google says 1.5 Pro can process vast amounts of information in one sitting, including up to 1 hour of video, 11 hours of audio, and code bases with over 30,000 lines of code, and over 700,000 words. So it looks like you could pretty much throw anything at it. So if you wanted to analyze a video, you can a video up to 1 hour long, you can throw that at it. Audio, throw that at it. Obviously, if you a programmer, you've used it for code out there, so it's like 30,000 lines of code, over 700,000 words. So you can pretty much throw a lot of stuff at this, and it will be able to process that information. So let's take a look at this video real quick here. Let me just blow that up so you can see it. So this is going to give you just a brief, I'm not going to play the whole video, but it's going to give you a good demonstration of what Google is capable of with the new 1.5 model. And make sure my audio is working.
This is a demo of long context understanding, an experimental feature in our newest model, Gemini 1.5 Pro. We'll walk through a screen recording of example prompts using a 44-minute Buster Keaton film, which comes out to over 600,000 tokens. In Google AI Studio, we uploaded the video and asked, "Find the moment when a piece of paper is removed from the person's pocket and tell me some key information on it with the timecode." This screen capture is sped up, and this timer shows exactly how long it took to process each prompt. And keep in mind that processing times will vary. The model gave us this response, explaining that the piece of paper is a pawn ticket from Goldman & Company pawnbrokers with the date and cost, and it gave us this timecode 1201. When we pulled up that timecode, we found it was correct. The model had found the exact moment the piece of paper is removed from the person's pocket, and it extracted text accurately. Next, we gave it this drawing of a scene we were thinking of and asked, "What is the timecode when this happens?" This is an example of a multimodal prompt where we combine text and image in our input. The model returned this timecode, 1534. We pulled that up and found that it was the correct scene. Like all generative models, responses vary and won't always be perfect.
Yeah, so as you can see, they're very impressive with what you can do with this new model. Give it some video, ask it some questions, and it can actually look at the video, understand what's going on, and then give you answers to your response. So once again, that is AI being taken to the next level. So I don't know if ChatGPT can do this. I haven't tested this with ChatGPT before, but I know you can just throw a video at ChatGPT and it can give you a summation of what's going on in the video, like a YouTube video or something. But I don't know to this level of detail can it do that. But this is definitely impressive. It is definitely useful. So we'll be hearing a lot about people using Gemini 1.5 Pro once it comes out there. So definitely Google is working very hard at updating their Gemini 1.5 Pro. So definitely Google has made a lot of strides since that first Bard debacle when they first released it back at their developer conference. But they made a lot of steps, a lot of strides in improving it, and its performance, as you can see here, is definitely something that you definitely should be aware of. Especially if you are interested in AI and pay attention to this, then definitely want to pay attention to what Google is doing right here. So from this video, just this little short demo right here, it's definitely impressive, and definitely we'll be checking it out. We'll be testing around, playing with it just to see how it actually does work once this does come out. Let's continue on here. The model also performed impressively against benchmarks. It outperformed 1.0 Pro in 87% of the benchmark Google uses to adopt its large language model. So this is not a third party benchmark, is Google's internal benchmarking. So take that as you will. To reassure users about safety to Gemini 1.5 Pro, Google says that it has conducted extensive evaluations to ensure the safe and responsible deployment of this advanced model. Google is releasing 1.5 Pro with a 1 million token context window in a limited preview to developers and enterprise customers. So looking forward to actually when they're going to release this to everybody. It looks like here Google plans to introduce the 1.5 Pro with pricing tiers that start at the standard 128,000 token context window that goes up to 1 million tokens. So depending on how much you want to pay, how much each tier is, then it depends on how much processing it can do. So definitely something to be on the lookout for when it does be released. Doesn't have any date or time frame, at least not in this article, but definitely will be paying attention to that. So what do you think about Google's Gemini 1.5 Pro? Is it impressive? Have they made enough strides to make you a believer in Google's Gemini at this point. Definitely better than what, like I said, what Bard was when it first came out. So they have definitely made some tremendous strides, and it looks like they are definitely capable and are very serious about taking on ChatGPT with AI. They have the money, they have the backing, so they're definitely going to continue to be a major player in the space. They have endless pockets, so they're definitely going to make a lot of strides in this regard here. But speaking of AI, continuing the AI news here, Apple. So earlier this week, I did a video covering Apple's AI strategy. So I'm not going to go into great detail of the information that I covered in that video. If you want to go there, I can make sure I link that for you. Also, going to look at what kind of hardware is needed for this, or what Apple is intending to use for this hardware. So let's take a look at Apple's AI strategy very quickly. Apple's AI strategic acquisition. So in 2023, we've heard a lot in AI space. We heard from, like I said, we just heard from Google. We heard from ChatGPT, obviously. The notable exception that we did not hear from was Apple, and they were quiet in terms of making headlines, but behind the scenes, they were making a lot of moves to make their AI very capable and to position themselves to be a force in this arena. Specifically, behind the scenes, they had in 2023 acquired over 30 AI-centric companies. So that is more than what ChatGPT, more than what Google, Microsoft had acquired. So they are definitely on the forefront. So instead of just starting from scratch, they're just going to suck up all these companies, buy up their tech, and just bring them in-house. So compared to tech giants like Google, Meta, and Microsoft, Apple leads the pack in startup acquisitions. So again, they've just been buying up companies behind the scenes. Like I said, they've been quiet, but that does not mean they have not been doing any work. They are definitely busy behind the scenes, making sure that they are ready to go. So just a little bit more background information. In November of last year, they released their Ferret 7B, which is their large language model. Like I say, it was very quiet, no big news about it, but they released it to the open world, basically like open source, so they can get feedback, let the users out there go out there, play around with it, and then just take that feedback and improve it. And then around January, we started to hear a little bit more about that. I did a video covering what Ferret's capabilities are. Some of those capabilities are pretty impressive as well. So I did a video about that back in January, detailing what that is going to be, what Ferret 7 is capable of. So again, Apple is definitely making moves in this arena. So they're a different approach compared to competitors. Google, Microsoft have been quite vocal and public about their AI endeavors. Apple has chosen a different path. Apple, on the other hand, has been more reserved, focusing on acquiring startups to quietly enhance its AI capabilities, AI integration into its products. So obviously, they're going to integrate this into all of their products. The main thing we're going to probably see is Siri. Siri is old, she's outdated, she has been left in the dust when compared to other companies out there right now, and she's been left in the dust. So we will definitely get a improved, upgraded Siri once Apple releases this AI, which a lot of people are thinking that during their worldwide developer conference, that may be where we get the unveiling of what their AI approach is or what their strategy is going to be. Again, yeah, so up there developer conference. So again, like I said, I did a video covering this in more detail. If you want to check that video out, I did 2 videos covering this, so you can go check those out. But in order for Apple to take advantage of this AI, put it on their phone. So Apple's approach is, I think they want to use more on-device AI and necessarily have to go to the cloud to get this information. So they're going to have some upgraded hardware. So upgraded iPhone 16 neural engine could power iOS 18 generative AI features. So let's go into this article right here. This is out of Quote of Mac. A18's neural engine could get a big performance boost. So artificial intelligence and machine learning have put a greater focus on dedicated AI cores in SoCs for faster processing. Additionally, this enables the device to run many AI tasks locally. Apple's already used the neural engine on its A series and M series chips to power on-device voice typing, offline Siri, and other such tasks as iPhones and iMacs. But to power iOS 18 rumored generative AI features, the neural engine will likely need much more horsepower. Yes, they're going to need a big push, and what they're going to use for that, the A18 is going to get boosted with that. The neural engine performance has improved with the underlying architecture improvement. For example, A17's neural engine can process 35 trillion operations per second. This makes it up to twice as fast as the A16's neural engine. So how many trillions of operations per second will the A18 be able to do? I'm sure once they unveil the A18 chip, they will definitely let us know about that. More powerful neural engine could enable offline processing of AI tasks. So yeah, just as I alluded, they want to be able to do a lot of their capabilities on the device itself, as compared to other devices out there like Google and Samsung. Flagship Androids like the S24 Ultra and Google Pixel Pro ship with upgraded SoCs, boasting improved AI performance. Yet they rely on the cloud to power most of their AI features. The company could rely on, talking about Apple, on the A18's more powerful neural engine to power iOS's generative AI features offline. So, looks like AI, they definitely want to make their device, their AI, generative AI features run on a device, which is a good thing. Keeps everything local, less power draw, less data users. I don't think people really care about that, but it also makes the hardware more powerful, more capable of being able to generate answers to a lot of your queries. So it'll be definitely going to be interesting to see what Apple does when they release this information. Hopefully at their Worldwide Developer Conference, they unveil this information here. So usually I think that takes place in the late spring or early summer. I think around May or so, when is their Worldwide Developer Conference. So we'll be looking forward to that. But what do you think about Apple and their AI exploits that they're doing? Do you think Apple has the capability to come into the AI space, make major moves, make marks, and try to topple ChatGPT or even Gemini in this case? But that remains to be seen. Let me know what your thoughts are. Jump down in the comment section. I definitely want to know what your thoughts are. And if you are somebody who follows AI and into this, you definitely want to be checked in and pay attention to what Apple is doing. In my previous story, I talked about Gemini, what they're doing. So definitely something to look out for in the AI space. So hopefully, again, at the Worldwide Developer Conference, we get more concrete information about what Apple is doing. Because I assure you that, again, they've been quiet, but like as I laid out, they are not quiet. They're making a lot of moves behind the scenes. So like I said, Apple has deep pockets, second largest company in the world. So they're definitely going to do something that will make a lot of headlines. And if they can improve Siri, they're going to integrate it into Siri, their Apple Maps, and some other things as well. So definitely going to be something to look out for. So just let me know what you think. All right, moving on here. Meteor Lake similarly struggles against AMD's Phoenix APU in early MSI Claw review. So the MSI Claw was leaked, or the information came out just prior to CES, and everybody was excited about it. It looked exciting. It was definitely something to look forward to. So at CES, I actually got the chance to go hands-on with it, put it in my hands, did a video about that. I think I did a short about that. Looks impressive from a actual handheld hardware point of view. I love the buttons. I love the colors around there. It felt good in my hands. It wasn't too heavy or anything. The interesting choice that MSI did was they decided to go with Meteor Lake or Intel's chip, as opposed to what most other companies use is AMD's APU when it comes to handheld. And so a lot of questions were, what is the performance going to be? How will it stack up to AMD in that regard? And it looks like right now, at least in early reviews, we do have an answer as to what their performance will be like. And in early reviews, right now we only have one review right now, so take it with a grain of salt. It's not we don't have enough information yet, but the early indications are that it is not performing as well as we would expect. An early review for the Meteor Lake powered MSI Claw gaming handheld is out, and its performance is clearly behind the ROG Ally and its Phoenix-based Z1 Extreme. Meteor Lake is significantly less performant than Phoenix in a handheld form factor according to the reviewer. The comparison is especially unfavorable for Intel when using lower TDPs, that's the power draw. Unfortunately for Intel, according to the early review by Please Fang, it looks like Meteor Lake doesn't have what it takes to go head-to-head with AMD in gaming handhelds. The reviewer puts the Core 7 Ultra I-55, the 155H version of the MSI clock up against the Z1 Extreme model of the ROG Ally, both of which are top-end variants. So far, again, like I said, in this one review, it does not look like the Intel chips are on par with that. And there's a chart that I'm going to go over real quick. At their default TDP, which is 35 to 40 watts for the Claw and the 30 for the Ally, the 155H was behind in every single game by a significant amount. Again, let me repeat that. The 155H was behind in every single game by a significant amount. Does not bode well for Intel at this point. Again, though, but let's just step back a little bit. This is the first time. This is the first iteration. This is the first device that is using this. So I wouldn't expect it to blow away the competition. But according to some of these numbers here, at every point, the Z1 Extreme had at least a 10% performance lead and often closer to a 30 to 40% higher frame rate. So that is a big jump in terms of frame rate and performance that the Intel chips are lagging behind when it comes to AMD. So this just brings up the question: what was the thought process for MSI when they decided to go Intel route as opposed to the AMD route? I don't know. I wasn't in the design room. They didn't let me get in there. But I don't know if they just wanted to try something different, or was this something Intel pushed? We don't know the answer to that yet. Hopefully I don't know if we'll ever get the answer to that. But again, this is their first iteration, their first model. So hopefully in the future, this will not be the standard, and maybe they can make some improvements in their next generation, or even before this hardware does come out, they can probably push out some patches and some updates to try to close the gap there. But we'll have to wait and see what happens real quick. So this is just a very quick one. Actually, I'm gonna go over to this article. This is out of videocards.com, where has a better chart. Let me blow that up for you, so you can see how that actually does perform here. This is the MSI Claw versus the Asus ROG Ally in frames per second. So again, this is Cyberpunk. You can see here what the settings it was running at, and at its max power draw, the MSI Claw achieved 44.8 frames per second, while the Asus ROG Ally achieves 59.8 frames per second. So huge discrepancy there as you go down line. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, with its max, it was 49 and it's 53, so not that big of a difference right there. But as you continue to go down in power, you see the discrepancy starts to increase. It's here. So at 25 watts, you have 46 to 56. 20 watts, you have 40 to 53. And then at the lowest power watt, I said it's here, 15 watts, 24 to 42. So almost double the performance in the Asus ROG Ally at a lower power setting. So again, these numbers right here so far does not look well. You can see here you have Red Dead Redemption 2 and Resident Evil numbers here. So again, the tried and true AMD chips are performing a lot better in the gaming handheld, as opposed to, at least in this early review, this one review that we have now, the MSI Claw does not stand up to the Asus ROG Ally. I think, again, I don't know what the thought process was behind it. I guess one of the draws behind the MSI Claw was that they have a larger battery, so conceivably you would be getting a lot more battery power. You get more time than compared to the other one. So, that's a decision so you guys are going to have to make if you are looking at getting an MSI Claw. Is what's more important to you. If it does hold true that the battery does perform better in the MSI Claw, what do you want? Do you want more battery life so you can play longer, or do you want more frames per second and more performance? I guess that depends on how you're going to be using it. If you're somebody who's going to be using this on a go and just going to be looking at that 7 or 8 inch screen, having 15 to 20 more frames per second, is that more important to you, or is it having more battery life, especially if you're going to go, as opposed to maybe somebody who maybe will be using it at home and keeping it, plugged in and docked or whatever. You may be more interested in having better performance as opposed to battery life. So yeah, I guess it depends on what your usage is going to be, how you're going to use it. So you have to make that determination what for you. But again, I don't own any of these handhelds. I'm actually interested in these. And when that MSI Claw was announced, I was very excited about it. And looking at these numbers right now, I was leaning towards the Asus ROG Ally, so I may be geared towards getting the Asus ROG Ally, especially after seeing these early numbers. But I will wait until probably the device is released, the MSI Claw, and for more reviews to come out. But I am more so leaning towards the Asus ROG Ally. I want to get back into PC gaming, but I want to just dock this on my TV and plug it up to my big screen and have my surround sounds around me. I don't want to sit at my desk with my little puny little 2.1 speakers that I have here or whatever. But let me know what you guys think about this. Do you is this a negative for MSI Claw right now, or do you feel that maybe they can tweak some of these numbers, put a patch out there and probably close the gap between those? But you look at some of these numbers right here, especially at the lower power draw, there is definitely a significant gap here, almost double here. So something that MSI Claw is going to have to figure out. But what do you guys think? Is this a drawback? Are you still interested in MSI Claw, or does this, pretty much destroy it for you? Just let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Really looking forward to seeing what you guys think about that. So jump in down there. All right, and the last story that I definitely want to cover for you today, we'll talk about Lenovo's transparent laptop concept resurfaces in new leak. So the transparent laptop screen. So it looks, again, it looks good. How practical it is, we don't know. We have to wait for actually to come out. So leaker Evan Blast has offered another look at Lenovo's transparent laptop concept ahead of its presumed unveiling at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona this month. So again, Mobile World Congress is coming up the 25th. So looking forward to that. See-through screens aren't exactly new technology. They've been cropping up in concept devices for over a decade, and Samsung even showed off a transparent laptop concept back in 2010. Yes, 14 years ago, we've seen transparent displays pop up. So, but now 14 years later, I think the technology is better, and we have to figure out what kind of use case do we have for such thing like this. But at CES this year, there were a couple notable transparent displays that popped up. LG had their OLED transparent TV, and that is actually going on market this year. So probably in the spring, we'll probably know more pricing and release date information, but that TV will be going on the market. And Samsung showed off their transparent micro LED. Again, that's a concept, as micro LED is still not really hit the market yet. So, but that was more of a concept. But it's interesting to see where this tech is going. And with Lenovo in their transparent display, they will obviously be showing it off at Mobile World Congress. I'll be very interested to hear Lenovo's pitch as to why you might need a laptop with a transparent display. I really want to see what's going on behind my laptop when I'm sitting at a desk, and when I do, it's relatively easy to lean left or right or peek around it. Yes, that is true. What is the goal behind a transparent display on a laptop? Other than that, it looks cool, it's futuristic. We've seen it in the movies back in the early 2000s with these transparent displays. But I mean, they look cool, depending on what your use is. But for a laptop, not sure what the use will be for that. But again, it looks pretty cool. Again, I love seeing this tech come forward. I love seeing what the future holds. So I definitely always want to see what the new tech comes out. Aside from its transparent screen, the leaked press images of Lenovo's concept suggest it will have a completely flat, touch-sensitive keyboard. There's also a stylus available as well. It's worth noting that if Lenovo does decide to show off the laptop concept at Mobile World Congress, then there's no guarantee that it'll actually see a commercial release. Last year, the company exhibited a rollable laptop at the Big Tech Show, which allowed you to push a button to see the regular 12.7-inch laptop landscape 4.3 display extend upwards to become a 15.3-inch portrait 8:9 screen. But since then, there's been no talk of the laptop getting a commercial release. So a lot of these concepts that we see never really actually come out to market. It's just, put it out there. Let's just see what we can do. Here's what we can do. Let's see what the public thinks about it. But let me let you take a look at the laptop here. This is from the good close up here. You can see a couple of laptops here. This one here is actually fully translucent. This nothing going on. Then that one, it just has like a logo on the back. And then we do have a stylus right here, and then the touch screen is completely flat. And it looks like you can see it's showing a virtual keyboard on there. I don't know if I would be a fan of typing on a virtual keyboard. Like I said, I've used it on my laptop. I don't prefer it. I prefer a physical keyboard. So I don't know if I want a full laptop without a tactile keys that I can feel or push back from. But again, like I said, I believe this is just a concept. I don't know if this will. It definitely probably won't come to market this year, but it'd be interesting to see what happens to this. Again, Mobile World Congress, we expect to see this there, but we'll see what happens when they show this off. But what do you guys think about this? Is this something that you want to use? Is this practical? What kind of use case do you think this has? And are we ready for this? The future is now. Is this something that is ready for mainstream production? Mainstream go yet? Are we ready there? But I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comment section. For me, it looks cool. Again, I love it. It looks great. The practicality of it, not sure. It's definitely a conversation piece. If you're somebody who loves to show off new tech, bam, just to whip this out, get everybody talking about it. But especially if I'm working on this, do I want everybody to see what I'm doing? No. So that's something that we don't know any information about. Can you make the screen dark? Does it have a screen that rolls up like the TV from LG? We don't know any of that information, but we'll see what happens when they unveil this at World Congress in a couple of weeks. But that is everything that I want to talk about this week. So once again, thank you guys for taking the time out to watch this. If there's anything I can do to make this show better for you, please let me know. I am not above criticism. Let me know what I can do to improve it for you, make it more entertaining for you. What news are you looking for? Am I covering the right stories? Am I covering stuff that you are interested in? Please get down in that conversation. Get down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I do this for you. I'm trying to bring you tech news. I bring it to you straight. I don't sensationalize it. I don't fictionalize it. I just want to give you the news and let you decide what you want to do. So again, thank you for taking time out to watch this video. If you want to stay up to date with today's tech news, head over to their website, SoundStory.com, where I curate and aggregate tech news from around the web. And I cover Apple, Samsung, Google, Android, computing, and even more general news at the website, SoundStory.com. Again, if you are new to this channel and enjoy this type of content, enjoy staying up to date with the latest tech news, hit that subscribe button. And if you have friends or family that enjoy this type of content, make sure you share this with them as well, as I'm sure they will enjoy this. Also, make sure you head over to Twitter or social media and check me out there. There's a lot of news that do not make it into video form. I share a number of articles every day on Twitter. I'm also on Gab. I'm on Truth Social. I'm on Minds. Pretty much everywhere there are. I'm on Instagram. So make sure you head over there. So go over to Twitter. Make sure you hit that follow button. Share the articles out there. Join in on the conversation there. So you can stay up to date with the latest tech news. Again, thank you for taking time out to watch the video. Again, every Saturday I go live at 2 p.m. Bring you tech news, covering tech news from the world of tech from the past week. So thank you once again for taking time to watch this video. And until the next video, guys, stay nerdy.